Hello students, today we are going to discuss different types of simple sugars and oligosaccharides. Sugar is the name used for carbohydrates, which is one of the 4 classes of organic compounds found in biological systems, in addition to proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. These contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, with hydrogen and oxygen generally in the ratio of 2 to 1 atom as in water. Carbohydrates are most abundant organic compounds among the living organisms. These make up about 3/4 of the dry weight of plants. Animals, including humans, get the carbohydrates by eating plants, but less than 1% of the body weight of animals is made up of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates act as storehouses of chemical energy in the form of glucose, starch, and glycogen, and in the components of supportive structures in plants in the form of cellulose, and crustacean shells in the form of chitin, connective tissues in animals in the form of acidic polysaccharides, and are essential components of nucleic acids in the form of D-ribose and 2-deoxy-D-ribose as well. Nomenclature and structural chemistry of carbohydrates. The name carbohydrate means hydrates of carbon. These have been named so as in earlier days the carbohydrates were regarded as the hydrates of carbon with the general formula CnH2O to the power m, as in case of glucose, the blood sugar, and sucrose, the table sugar. However, all carbohydrates do not follow this general formula. Furthermore, certain compounds like formaldehyde and acetic acid etc. are not and do not behave like carbohydrates but have the formula of hydrates of carbon. However, the term carbohydrate has been so firmly rooted in nomenclature that, although not completely accurate, it persists as the name for this class of compounds. At the molecular level, most carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes and polyhydroxyketones, or the compounds that yield either of these compounds after hydrolysis. All but the simplest carbohydrates contain multiple chiral centers, carbon atom that is surrounded by 4 different functional groups to satisfy its tetravalency is termed as chiral carbon. It's further said to satisfy chirality if it can exist in 2 different spatial arrangements in space that are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. For example, glucose, the most abundant carbohydrate in the biological world, contains 1 aldehyde group, 1 primary and 4 secondary hydroxyl groups that form 4 chiral centers. Now let's talk about the classification of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates have been broadly classified on 4 bases. That is, the complexity of their structure, the size and number of carbon atoms, presence of functional group, and reactivity, especially towards the oxidizing agents. On the basis of complexity, carbohydrates can be simple and complex sugars, generally monosaccharides like glucose and fructose that cannot be converted into simpler carbohydrates by hydrolysis are termed as simple carbohydrates, while as the disaccharides and oligosaccharides and polysaccharides are termed as complex sugars, as these can be converted into simpler carbohydrates after hydrolysis. On the basis of size and number of carbon atoms, carbohydrates are classified as trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses, heptoses and octoses that contain 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 carbon atoms respectively. Hexoses like glucose are most common in occurrence among all others. On the basis of the presence of functional group, carbohydrates are classified as aldoses and ketoses. Aldoses are the carbohydrates that have an aldehyde functional group or its equivalent, for example glucose. Ketoses are the carbohydrates that have a ketone functional group or its equivalent, for example fructose. On the basis of reactivity, carbohydrates can be reducing sugars or non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars are those that can be oxidized by the oxidizing agents like Tollens reagent, Benedict's reagent, Falling's solution, etc. Non-reducing sugars, unlike the reducing sugars, do not react with such agents but require a strong oxidizing agent like bromine water and undergo oxidation by the same. Now, chemistry of monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are carbohydrate molecules that cannot be broken down to simpler carbohydrate molecules. They are joined together to form large structures, namely oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. The most common monosaccharide contains 3 to 8 carbon atoms. In nomenclature, suffix "-ose", OSE, indicates that a molecule is a carbohydrate, and the prefix "tri", tetra, pent, and so forth indicate the number of carbon atoms in the chain. However, a ketose is indicated with the suffix "-ulose", ULOSE, in the name. Let's talk about the monosaccharide configuration and isomerization. The aldoses with 6 or fewer carbon atoms are given Fischer projections that are widely used in carbohydrate chemistry. Each of the monosaccharides has an enantiomer. An enantiomer is one of the 2 stereoisomers of a compound that are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. A monosaccharide is given D configuration if the hydroxyl group is to the right of the last stereocenter in Fischer projection, whereas L configuration is given if the OH is to the left of the last stereocenter carbon. D and L is usually put in the beginning of the carbohydrate when naming the molecule. Marked differences in aroma, flavor characteristics, and intensity are commonly observed in these isomers. For instance, L and D carbones have spearmint and caraway flavors respectively. And out of the 8 menthol isomers, because menthol is having 3 chiral esters and its analogues such as menthones and methyl acetates, only one has the priced combination of good mint flavor plus cooling sensations. Now, physical properties of monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are colorless crystalline solids that are sweet in the taste. They oftenly crystallize with difficulty. All monosaccharides are soluble in water because of the presence of polar hydroxyl groups and possible hydrogen bonding with water molecule. They are sparingly soluble in ethanol and insoluble in non-polar solvents such as diethyl ether, chloroform, and benzene. Let's talk about monosaccharide chemical reactions. Monosaccharides form hemiacetals and acetyls when the carbonyl group of the monosaccharide reacts with one of its own properly positioned hydroxyl groups to form the products like D-glucopyranose ring in case of glucose and D-furanose ring in case of fructose. Monosaccharides form aldonic acid and aldolactones due to the oxidation of carbonyl group of aldoses. Monosaccharides that are hexoses also form uronic acid as a result of enzyme catalyzed oxidation of the primary hydroxyl group at carbon number 6. An example to this is glucouronic acid formed from glucose, which is an important component of the acidic polysaccharide of connective tissue in humans. Cold phenylhydrazine and other substituted hydrazine can react with monosaccharides to form hydrozones, also called ozozones, during which the hydroxyl group adjacent to the carbonyl group is oxidized to keto group, reducing hydrazine to aniline and ammonia. Ozozones thus formed can be converted to ozotriazoles by refluxing with copper sulfate, formazan by reacting with aryl diazonium compounds, ozones by reacting with aromatic aldehydes, or isoglucosamine when reduced with nascent hydrogen in presence of a catalyst. Monosaccharides react with acids as well as alkalis. With alkalis, these are highly unstable, undergoing series of isomerization and degradation and forming a number of compounds. More than 100 different compounds have been isolated from the reaction product of glucose and sodium hydroxide. On the other hand, these are very stable towards the dilute acids. However, the presence of concentrated acids like concentrated hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, etc. may distort them. Epimerization and non-enzymatic browning are the essential chemical reactions shown by sugars. When glucose is treated with dilute alkalis such as pyridine or quinceline, epimerization is said to take place. That is, sugar epimers are obtained. As a result of this reaction, glucose yields a mixture of mannose, fructose, and unreacted glucose. This reaction is useful in preparation of rare sugars from their epimers. Non-enzymatic browning, also called Maillard reaction, involves the reaction of reducing sugars reversibly with amine to produce glucosylamine. It undergoes condensation to form Schiff base. In alkaline pH, it undergoes Amadori rearrangement, forming 1-amino, 1-deoxy, D-fructose in case of glucose, and HMF, that is 5-hydroxymethyl, 2-furfuryaldehyde as the reaction proceeds. These polymerize to form melanoidin responsible for the formation of brown color. Now let's talk about the chemistry of disaccharides and oligosaccharides. The carbohydrates that contain 2 monosaccharide units are called disaccharides, while as those that contain 3 units are called trisaccharides, and so forth. The general term oligosaccharide is often used for carbohydrates that contain from 4 to 10 monosaccharide units that are linked by glycosidic bond. First, let's talk about disaccharides. In a disaccharide, 2 monosaccharide units are joined together by a glycosidic bond between anomeric carbon of one unit and an hydroxyl group of the other. On hydrolysis, these two molecules of monosaccharides are obtained. Disaccharides can be homodisaccharides or heterodisaccharides. Homodisaccharides are made up of 2 similar monosaccharide units, for example maltose, which is made up of 2 alpha glucose molecules, and cellobiose, which is made up of 2 beta glucose molecules. On the other hand, heterodisaccharides are those that are made up of 2 different monosaccharide units. For example, lactose, which is composed of 1 beta glucose and 1 beta galactose molecule, and sucrose, which is made up of 1 alpha glucose and 1 beta fructose molecule. There are 3 important disaccharides which deserve priority in discussion. These are maltose, lactose, and sucrose. Maltose derives its name from its presence in the malt, the juice from sprouted barley and other cereal grains. It consists of 2 molecules of D-glucopyranose joined by an alpha-1,4 glycosidic bond with a free aldehyde group to react with oxidizing agents, thus making it a reducing sugar. It's a disaccharide which can be obtained by the hydrolysis of starch using the enzyme beta amylase. Maltose is produced during malting of grains, especially barley. It's commercially produced by specific enzyme catalyzed hydrolysis of starch using beta amylase from Bacillus bacteria or sometimes from barley seed, soya beans, sweet potatoes, etc. Maltose is used sparingly as a mild sweetener for foods. Lactose is the principal sugar present in the milk and a primary carbohydrate source for developing mammals. It's made up of 1 beta glucose and 1 beta galactose molecule linked by beta-1,4 glycosidic bond. Lactose is a reducing sugar that is ingested along with the milk and other unfermented dairy products such as ice cream. Lactose stimulates intestinal absorption and retention of calcium in the body. It is digested in small intestine where it is hydrolyzed by enzyme beta-galactosidase, which is secreted in the breast border epithelial cells of the small intestine. It catalyzes the hydrolysis of lactose into its constituent monosaccharides, that is D-glucose and D-galactose. Both D-glucose and D-galactose are rapidly absorbed in the intestine and enter the bloodstream. However, if the ingested lactose is only partially hydrolyzed or is not hydrolyzed at all in the lumen of small intestine because of the deficiency of lactase, a clinical syndrome called lactose intolerance results. It involves the symptoms like abdominal distension and cramps, bloating and diarrhea. The 2 ways to overcome the effects of lactase deficiency are to remove the lactose by fermentation or to produce reduced lactose milk by adding lactase to it. However, the products of hydrolysis, that is D-glucose and D-galactose, produced as a result are sweeter than lactose, and at about 80% hydrolysis, the taste changes become too evident. Therefore, in a technology under development, live yogurt cultures are added to refrigerated milk, in which bacteria remain dormant in the cold, but upon reaching the small intestine, release lactase. Let's talk about sucrose. Sucrose or table sugar is the most important disaccharide in the biological world. It's obtained principally from the juice of sugarcane and sugar beets. It's made up of 1 alpha glucose and 1 beta fructose molecule linked together by alpha-1,2 glycosidic bond, but linked head to head, that's reducing end to reducing end, rather than the normal head to tail linkage. Thus, it has no reducing end and is a non-reducing sugar. The sucrase of human intestinal tract catalyzes hydrolysis of sucrose into D-glucose and D-fructose, making sucrose one of the 3 carbohydrates other than monosaccharides that humans can utilize for energy, the other 2 being lactose and starch. The per person daily utilization of sucrose in United States averages about 160 grams. Now let's talk about the relative sweetness of some carbohydrates and artificial sweeteners. Although all monosaccharides are sweet to taste, but their relative sweetness varies. That's to say, some of them are sweeter than others. For example, D-fructose tastes the sweetest, even sweeter than sucrose. The sweet taste of honey is attributed largely to the presence of D-fructose, while lactose, which occurs in many milk products, is sometimes added to foods as a filler, has almost no sweetness. The sweetening power of sugar is undoubtedly their most important characteristic so far as public is concerned. If the sweetness of sucrose is taken as a standard, then other sweet tasting compounds may be ranked accordingly. For example, if sweetness of sucrose is assumed to be 1, the sweetness relative to sucrose in fructose is 1.74 and that of the invert sugar is 1.25. Similarly, the relative sweetness to sucrose in honey, glucose, maltose and lactose is calculated to be 0.97, 0.74, 0.33 and 0.16 respectively. Certain synthetic sweeteners that are non-carbohydrate compounds are also used as additives in foods. These include saccharin and aspartame. Such artificial sweeteners have very high value of relative sweetness to sucrose. For example, saccharin has as high as 450 and aspartame has about 160 value of relative sweetness to sucrose. That's all about today's program entitled Sugars and the different types of oligosaccharides. Hope you understood it well. Thank you very much.